Hello, is Steve there, please?
Yes, he is. 1 second.
Thank you.
Stephen?
Yeah. They're ringing on your phone now.
You've got both of them.
Oh. Hello?
Hi, Steve. It's Michael Purse calling from Adelaide. Miranda from AUM set me up to quickly say hello.
Okay, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
I'm pretty good.
Great stuff. It's been a busy year for you this year. Lots happening.
Oh, yeah?
And we're very excited that you're bringing the show to Adelaide at the end of the year.
We're excited to bring it there. Yes, our best show ever. And do you know what? Adelaide is our slowest city in Australia.
Is that right? Hopefully we'll turn that around.
I would like to. I'd really like to, and I think that this show is way for people, because this is a real concert. This is not a rock. This isn't a rock band chucking together a bunch of songs and having knocking them out. This is like a real concert. People have told me that Norwood gig is really nice, and so I hope people can come and see this and see another side of us.
The Norwood Concert Hall is a lovely venue. It's big enough to have a great atmosphere, but not too big that you don't feel like the performers are right there in front of you. So it is a great venue indeed, and for what you guys are doing, it will be magnificent.
I hope the good people of Adelaide come and check it out.
We will certainly do all we can to encourage them to do so. As I said, Steve, it's been a busy year for you. The 30th anniversary of the church. Did you think way back in the 80s when the band started that this would be happening 30 years ago, or did you not even dream to think that far ahead?
What do you think?
I would have thought. Well, I guess the initial success of the band in Australia and then overseas, I guess I would have had it in the back of my mind that we've jumped on something special here, and it may have legs for many years.
I guess I thought it might have had legs for a few years, but if someone had been talking about 2011, I would have. No, I mean, it doesn't. It never. It's like I guess a rock band's got a sort of a low beam and a high beam, and I guess its low beam goes a few weeks into the future, and its high beam might go a few years into the future, that you're never kind of looking at. Never would I, not in my wildest dreams. I couldn't even think that I myself would sort of get into my mid-50s, let alone the church could be kind of 30 years old. 31, almost coming up 32 years old, actually. So it's kind of, it was all, wasn't what I thought about at all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but I think over that time, everyone, including yourself, has had time out of the band. Has that been a factor in keeping the band going for so long?
Do you mean people have quit the band, or do you mean people have
quit the band and come back and people?
Peter's quit the band kind of twice, and he maintains he's not a member, but he's just a guest member, and he isn't actually back in the band properly. He's just a kind of it gives him great comfort to think this. And Marty's quit the band, and I tried to quit the band, and my letter of resignation was kind of rejected. So, I guess I think it's inevitable, and I think it's good for bands to go away and do a lot of things apart. And I've always found when Peter and Marty have gone off and done lots of other things, when they come back, they're playing in a different way. And especially with Priest Equals Aura, I remember Marty was off playing with a band called All About Eve in England, and he got himself some new guitar effects, and he came back and he suddenly had a new approach to playing guitar, which was kind of these volume swell things. At the same time, Peter kind of shifted, and I got this new sampler, and was sort of dreaming up these, which we actually were rehearsing with, and a lot of the songs were written with me playing keyboards, which for Priest Equals Aura. So when you come back from other things. You always bring some new thing onto the table with you, I think.
And
as long as it's not a big head, which sometimes you come back and go, oh, why should I listen to what you say? You know, when I do my own thing, I'm the king. So sometimes you have attitude problems, but usually the spells away definitely sort of increase everybody's repertoire of tricks.
And Priest Equals Aura is one of the albums you'll be playing in its entirety, and Ripple is a tune from that album that I've always loved, always stuck out for me, and I don't think it ever got the credit that it deserved from the general public.
Do you know what? The truth is that the Philistines out there can't dig my groovy trip. Let's face it. That's the truth. Here's this amazing song. It's the most cynical, skeptical, nasty, controlling, evil song, and it's powerful and it's unusual. And as people point out, it's got an anti-chorus. Just think when you think it's really going to up the ante, it kind of the chorus sort of slips sideways. And incredible lyrics and amazing production. And no, it wasn't a hit and didn't even get played. And play me a song from that year that stands up like this. I mean, it's almost 20 years old. It's kind of, people don't really want skeptical, sinister, nasty, dark songs, do they? They want kind of happy songs. They don't realise that in the darkness comes the happiness, and an overexposure to jolliness and happiness and stuff like that makes you sad. But, so that's why we make this dark and sad music, because it makes you happy. But who knows why?
Indeed. And also you'll be playing the new album in its entirety, and you must be very happy with the way that's been received. There's not many bands around the world, let alone in Australia, that can release a new album after so long, and the public and the critics receive it so warmly.
It was incredible. It was unexpected, and people in America really went over the top, and one guy said it was one of the best 3 albums ever made. Mm-hmm. And people really liked this album, and other people, I think, thought the new album in itself wasn't so particularly amazing, but suddenly they thought, kind of like, these guys have been out there making albums for a long time, and they've all kind of been just as good as this, and it's about time they got a bit of kind of kudos. So I think it had that function, and I think some people who weren't sure, when they saw the initial really good reaction, they went, oh, they might have re-examined it a bit, because what's been happening a lot is people go, oh, the new Church album, oh yeah, that's good, okay, next. And that's it, another good album from the Church, and that's kind of all we'd ever get. And then I think people started to actually sort of say, this isn't just another good album, this is kind of, this is really worth some attention. So, yeah, but your times, I've noticed that all over my career, though it might be apparent to everyone else, there are times when people are really interested in what you're doing, and then there are times when you couldn't get arrested, no matter what you did. Yeah, so that's just what happens, but up until last year and the good reviews and stuff like this, it seemed for a while we were wandering in the wilderness again, but that's all right.
And you mentioned how well the new album's been received in the United States, and the other album you're playing in this show in its entirety is Starfish, which I remember as well did very well in the States. I think the Rolling Stone really said this was a great album, and it did very well in the States for you.
It did. It was it sold over 1 million eventually.
And of course, people under the Milky Way, and I'm not sure if you're sick of playing this tune, but it's one of those tunes, Steve, that for me, and I guess many people around Australia and around the world, it still makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck when I hear it. If it comes on in the car, I will sit in the car and let it finish until I get out. It's just one of those tunes.
That's fantastic. You know, of course, that a songwriter can never get that out of his own song. You do understand that, don't you? So, as much as I love the fact that's doing that for you and other people, and it's having all this emotional resonance, I can't get that out of it myself. I just have to stand back and kind of pat the song on the head and go, good boy, you go get him. But for me, you know, the song can't get its teeth into me because I wrote it and I understand it, and it's sort of, do you know what I mean? It's sort
I do know what you mean,
that's
yes.
the pride of all. I think that probably Leonardo da Vinci stood back when he finished the Mona Lisa and, you know, went, you know, another people go, oh my God, I don't know, you know, the lips could have been bluer or something. So I think that's the thing when you create something. And I just did another interview with a guy, and I was saying, I think that the thing with Under the Milky Way that people like is it's an accidental song. It was accidentally written, it was accidentally recorded, accidentally became a hit, and you can hear its kind of its intent was not to make money. Like if you hear a song like, I don't know, you might as well fish if you're addicted to love, or something like that, you know someone sat down and go, let's try and write a hit. But when you hear Under the Milky Way, you know that you can immediately sense that was not the intention. And that, I think, endears songs to people when they, especially songs that do go on to become really big hits, when it was apparent that the song was never intended to be a hit, and and when a song that was written just because someone was a songwriter and they wanted to write a song, or they felt a song of coming on, but not someone who cynically sat down and went, I'm going to make something to try and make some money and have a bit of a stab at the charts, but someone who just accidentally came out with something. I think that's apparent with that song, and I think that's why people really like it and appreciate it.
So how does that make you feel, Steve, when this year you've been inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame? How does that sit with you when other people look at your work objectively from outside and make that call?
I love it. I mean, once upon a time, when I accepted that award, I said this, that once upon a time I had an audience of one, and that was my brother Russell. He was the only person on this whole fucking planet that wanted to listen to the songs I was writing. And I was writing and recording all these songs on my 4-track machine, and there wasn't one person in the world. I worked in an office. I tried to play it to those people. They weren't interested. The woman I was with at the time wasn't interested. My friends weren't interested, and my brother was the only person listening. So to even have people thinking about my songs, or talking about them, or mentioning them, or playing them, or wanting to use them in any way at all, I think it's incredible. I'm happy and grateful all the time that I've been able to make a living out of writing songs, and not only that, but some of my songs bring people pleasure, like real pleasure that they sort of that make something I never really anticipated. I sort of never thought that I could be able to write when I started off, I never thought I was trying more to impress people with my songs. So when the song was over, they go, oh, he's a clever bloke. I never thought that I would actually, it wasn't on my agenda to write songs that would move people. I didn't dare have those kind of ambitions. I never allowed myself, I thought I sort of had, in my very early 20s, I had sort of convinced myself that I was a kind of I was making artificial music that people would admire for its cleverness, sort of like a guy designing furniture or something. I wasn't really out for sort of deep comfort. I was more after for something a bit flashy, and people go, oh, he's a smart little devil. But over the years, sort of something else gradually started working within me, And now at this kind of late stage of the game, I sit down and I realise that there are people who really, they're not going, oh, he's clever. They're a much better thing. They're going, this is really beautiful and it moves me in some mysterious way. And they become very grateful to me, not impressed with me, but just very glad that I've written these songs. And that suddenly I've reached something much more profound than I ever intended. But it all it's like as my career goes on, it all kind of unveils itself and you realise where you're going and what you're doing. So you start the journey off as a kind of a snotty, intellectual sort of brat, and then you end up as an old guy, a bit more humble and appreciative, but at the same time making better music than the brat could, because you've got more experience.
Well, it's been a treat for us all to watch that journey and listen to that journey over 30 plus years, Steve.
Oh, good. No, I'm glad it's unfolded this way. I'm glad it amuses people and baffles people, and some people are like, I'm their football team. They're cheering for me. In America, especially, I meet whole families that are church families. Like some people are like Collingwood families or whatever. Now we have people in America, I guess in Australia, where the whole family is barracking for the church. Come on, the church! And but within the family, there's all disagreements that make it interesting. I like this member, I like that member, I like this period. No, I don't like that period, I like this. You know what I mean? So they have this endless, fruitful kind of topic. And when they drive along, the whole family listens to. I've just been given the wind up. Okay, I've got the next interview coming on.
No worries. It's a great pleasure to say hello, Steve. And I hope Adelaide gets behind and comes to see you guys. It's going to be a great night indeed.
It will. I guarantee it.
Can I get you to do a quick tag for me?
Yeah, go on.
Program is called Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide. If you could do me something like this, is still Steve Kilbey from the church, and you're listening to Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide, or whatever pops into your mind whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Steve Kilbey from the church, and you're listening to Sitting in a Bar in Adelaide, my favourite show in southern Australia.
You're a liar, but I love you. Thank you so much for your time, mate. We'll see you in December, at the end of December.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye.